It's a story about me.
Vernon, how does he feel today? He feels love or hate or sex?
Vernon wants to tell you about his past.
Nice. Is it a good past or a bleak past? Or...
It's bleak, but it shaped me into the man I am today. You know, Reverend, don't you worry. It's a bit bleak, though.
I'm gonna choose.
If you had to choose a ditty to play behind me.
Tell us that.
Well, you all know me. I'm Vernon. Vernon McApple. But I don't think I've told you about my past.
Sorry. It's probably Venom Party.
We could.
Okay.
You can call me OJ for short. But when I was a boy, growing up in New Seattle, I had a family. A wonderful family. It was me, my brother Bippy, my father and mother. But we also had one more family member. His name was Mr. Ruffles. He was a chimp. And he was the best chimp ever. For a while. Mr. Ruffles, I used to play with him. I'd feed him Ruffles chips. He loved those Ruffles chips. And then one day, I was out in the backyard. And oh my God, I heard screaming. Horrible screaming. My father's face was flung against the window. Mr. Ruffles went insane. He killed Ma, he killed Pa, and he killed Bippy. It was horrible. All I could hear was the screams and the blood. He bit off my father's dick. Killed him, killed everyone in there. They had to euthanize Mr. Ruffles right in front of me. They put a gun to his head. Bang!
You did, Declan.
There was nothing.
Mr. Ruffles!
You're just a chimp, Mr. Ruffles. It wasn't your fucking fault. But as a boy, I was left with nothing. Nothing to my name. I had to go onto the hard streets of New Seattle. I became a shoe shine boy. Used to shine their shoes for a penny, governor. The men would come up, they would have me shine their shoes. They'd have me do other things, but I won't get into that. But there was one man, a nice man. His name was Mr. Jackson. He took me to his home for wayward boys.
Oh, no.
He was such a good man, Mr. Jackson. Did we sleep in bed with him? Yes. Did anything ever happen? No. It was me, Little Pete, and Smelly Pete. We grew up with Mr. Jackson. He took care of us wayward boys. He gave us everything we could want. Until one day, Mr. Jackson died. His personal physician had been giving him too many pills. Too many prescription pills, and Mr. Jackson sadly died. Turned out, he'd left all his fortune to Smelly Pete. Smelly Pete took the fortune. He ran off to Monaco to be a playboy. Fucking bastard. He left me and Lil Pete alone. Back to the streets it was for us. We didn't love living on the streets, but we made do. We did puppet shows. We did improv comedy on the streets. We made enough to get by. And that whole time, I read books. I learned about computers. I learned about hacking. I learned enough that I got to go to Amazon for an interview with Jeff Bezos' brain in a jar. And he hired me. Jeff Bezos saved me. Until I learned too much. That's when I had to flee, boys. And that's when I met you. And now you are my Mr. Jackson. I sleep in bed with you, Reverend Colburn. And nothing happens in that bed. Nothing. And that's my story, boys.
13.
My story for you.